Listen,
what's been better, these celebrations that we're watching in the monitor
Stevie and I
over
were going, this is the craziness of it. You know, everyone's coming out, hopefully, of the pandemic and the problems. There was the Euros, long concertinaed season for a lot of players and clubs, lots of games, people moaning about it, hardly any rest. And here we have the so-called showpiece game of the start of the season for the big European winners, and they have to play extra time. And then we're watching the Chelsea players celebrating, and that's fair enough. But we were sitting thinking, going,
not what you said a few minutes ago.
Have we just witnessed them winning the Champions League again? Because it's a Super Cup or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Calm down. Calm down.
Well, listen to Frank, because we're diminishing this competition now because he won it.
Yes, Frank, you've got it on your resume. Just how important is the Super Cup?
It's very important for me because, well, we won the C2, you know, the Cup Winners' Cup at the time, and to win against Real Madrid, you know, winning the Champions League, it means something. I guess for Real Madrid, if they would have won against Chelsea, it would have been less impressive, I would say. But it's important for us. I guess it's important for the Chelsea players as well. And I wouldn't demand the fact that it's another trophy and it's important in your career. After, I could totally agree with you, those 30 minutes extra time are completely stupid. We are like few days before the beginning of the Premier League, and it's not helping the players and the clubs to put those 30 minutes. So it's stupid.
It's such an important game, by the way, that it's a pre-season friendly.
It's like the Club World Cup.
Players missing.
Some people take the Club World Cup serious, and I do believe one of them might be sitting here.
Well, if there's a Mexican team in the final, you know
exactly.
I do. Let's get back to the match, shall we?
The thing, no. Sebi, the thing is, at the time we played the Super Cup, we already started the season. We played like 2 or 3 games, and we played the Super Cup at the end of August, where they played just now, where most of the team is not ready. Just some people just came back from the Olympics. People just came back from holidays, so you don't have the best teams. Where Real Madrid and Chelsea at the time when we played in '98 were putting the best team, the best lineup. So it's a little bit stupid to put that game that early. At the end of August would have been better, I think.
The Chelsea, Frank won the Super Cup.
Yeah, he did. It's not the first time Frank's cut you off, huh?
98. No, he didn't cut me off.
Well, it would have been interesting to see how important these Chelsea players found it, because the truth is, they probably should have lost this game.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, Mendy was as good for Chelsea as any of their outfield players. So that tells you the story. Chelsea going forward, yes, they scored a good goal from Ziyech, but I'll tell you what, watching this Chelsea side, this particular version, you're thinking, where's the goals coming from? And where's... They don't even look as though they're going to score a goal.
Was this kind of the ultimate proof that they got to get that Lukaku deal over the line? Especially when we see Werner in that spot. He had his chances today and didn't take them.
Well, you always think coming into a season, and certainly thinking about Werner, if I'm involved with Chelsea, I'm going, you know what? He didn't take his chances, but he'll be better this year.
Is that what you saw in this game?
No.
Yeah.
And then when you watch this game, all of a sudden you go, you know what? We need a centre forward. We need a centre forward. We need a goal scorer.
They'll get that deal over the line if that's the deal they want, because they have to.
Yeah.
They have to. If they're going to challenge, probably City are the favourites, I would imagine. And if they are going to be the closest challengers, and they could be, we don't know what version of Liverpool we're going to get. Man United maybe, but they're going to have to find that player because that's going to be the difference for them.
What about the guys that are already there? Like, what does this mean for Werner? Does he have a future at Chelsea, you think, still?
I think at the moment, because he can play them in the wider positions.
But, I mean, you got a lot of guys that you can play in those wider positions.
Yeah, but he's a different player to the other ones they've got, particularly Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi and
Pulisic and Mount.
Yeah, but Pulisic's the guy who runs with the ball a bit more, and Werner's a guy who tends to run in behind the stretched defences.
Werner's still a guy, though, if you're playing against Chelsea, he's still a guy where you're going, well, you know what? He's going to take 2 or 3 chances to score, but you know he's going to give you trouble. It's not like you know, sometimes you're walking on a field and you're going, you know what? So-and-so's playing up front for them today. I'm quite happy with that. Timo Werner's still going to do a job for you. It's not going to be in the goal-scoring department, though. So he can still start in that team. You know, he can play on the left of a front three if you've got a Lukaku, for example, playing through the middle, because he will create for his centre forward, just isn't going to score the goals, certainly on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think the point is, I don't think you're going to rely on him to win you a title by his goal scoring. I know he did well in Germany, but that's Germany, right? Gone.
6 in 35 Premier League games last year.
But I think, the problem was what we saw in front of goals. It was falling over the ball.
Yeah.
It was,
and there was more of that in this match.
It was snatching at chances. It was rushing chances. There was a real lack of composure. But as Stevie said, if you have a physical big guy or a Lukaku type player who's going to come short for the ball at times, and then you've got Werner making those out to in runs from the left, that still worries you as an opposing manager defence, because you think, okay, we now got to worry about a player like Lukaku if he signs, but we've also got the pace, or it could be a Pulisic, but possibly a Timo Werner. But I don't see Chelsea trying to win the title with him as an out-and-out front man. I just don't think that will happen.
Frank, what do you think about his role with Chelsea? Can he hold on to not just a spot in the team, but maybe a spot in the 11?
It's going to be difficult for him. I mean, we saw some too much of clumsiness about him, and the doubt is in his head. And as long as he will still have this doubt, it's going to be hard for him to improve. But I remember, for the elders, maybe you remember Jean-Pierre Papin when he came from Bruges the first year in Marseille. That was awful. All the volley were going in the stands everywhere, and he worked so hard that he came back and became the Papin that we know, even winning the Ballon d'Or, being a fantastic striker. So I wanna hope and believe that it's possible for Werner, but he will have to work very hard, and especially psychologically. But it's going to be hard for him. And for me, it's been the main concern that I have about Chelsea offensively. They won the Champions League, for me, almost without an attack, a good front line, and they desperately need for me a Lukaku. That's for sure. And after we'll see how it works. Well, I still believe that Manchester City is the favourite, but I believe Chelsea has something to play, but they need a big forward for sure.
If City won the league so easily without any number 9s, why can't Chelsea?
Well, I don't think you can turn around and say City won the league very easily.
They didn't last year?
No. Listen, we've all sat here and said they won the league because of the defence. That's why they won the league last year. They didn't win the league because of previous years when they've blasted teams out of the water with goals and 4 and 5-0 victories. They have quality. They just didn't have what Chelsea are missing right now, and that's a proper centre forward. Jesus is a good player. Jesus will score some goals. But if you want to be the champions of Europe and win the Premier League confidently, then you need a player like that. Just the fact that they had so much quality that they could play a Foden or a De Bruyne or a Sterling. They had choices.
And they didn't get the challenge.
It's not ideal, but it worked.
And they didn't get the challenge. Sorry, Frank. And they didn't get the challenge that they thought they were going to get because Liverpool had
they won some of the most 12 points.
Well, Liverpool had the most horrendous injuries, particularly at the back. I mean, you're just not going to challenge for a title when you lose almost your whole back line. Well, certainly your two centre-halves for the whole season, and you having to play midfielders there. So they didn't have a challenge. Nobody else was ready. United weren't good enough to go all the way. Chelsea weren't ready. And so City were great in doing what they were doing, but they didn't have that neck and neck that they had with Liverpool a couple of years ago.
Frank?
Yeah, just going back to Chelsea, I think we shouldn't give all criticisms toward Werner, because Ziyech signed as well and didn't have a good season. Havertz, scored a fantastic goal in the Champions League final, but didn't have a good season as well. And Werner signed and didn't have a good season. So it's 3 elements of the front line, and it explains everything about the bad season offensively that Chelsea had. And comparing to Manchester City, you had players who did the job comparing to some Chelsea players.
But Frank, Werner came in as an established German international. Havertz was on the fringes as a 20-year-old or a youngster. Ziyech comes in from Holland, where the league's just not up to that standard, and he was pretty weak. And I think Frank Lampard had made it known to certain people they were concerned about how...
He was pretty good today.
how fragile I was. Pre-season friendly. Talk to me when it's the big stuff.
And Werner also. Werner was brought in to score goals.
Yeah. That's the thing. All you guys ever talk about, especially you when you talk about Chelsea, is that there's no leash for anybody, player, manager. They'll cut ties no matter how much they paid for you. Why is there such a long leash for this guy?
Who said there's a long leash?
There's a huge leash.
For who?
He's only been there 12 months.
By who?
Thomas Tuchel puts him out almost every game.
Well, Thomas Tuchel doesn't think he's got any better options at the moment.
Who else would you play? Tammy Abraham?
Somebody who's not gone months without scoring.
You know where he's going. You know where he's going.
Come on,
say it. I'm not going to say it. No.
Come on,
say it.
Spit it out.
Say it.
Sebi, the thing, Sebi, you have to, you also have to consider what does good Werner about on his game. Today, for example, on the cross and on the goal that Ziyech scored, if Werner doesn't make the run, and that's where Stevie was talking about, before, that's where he's dangerous. Because he makes some runs.
So Chelsea are content with a forward that don't score, that do the little things. That's what they paid 50 million plus
Chelsea
for?
will get
12 months.
Chelsea,
of course not, but
12 bad months.
Chelsea will get rid of Timo Werner if he's not cutting the mustard. But until such times,
we've just sat here for minutes talking about how
it's hard to criticise a manager who's just delivered the Champions League at the end of his what was he in charge? 6 months, 5 months. It's hard to. Please get away from your crocodile tears around Christian Pulisic. If he plays because he likes him and he doesn't play because he likes somebody else in that particular.
I would assume that it's a lot of players on Chelsea who have seen what Timo Werner has done for months and are asking, why does this guy keep getting chances?
There's other facets to Timo Werner's game that Stevie and I explained to you.
We just told you
I don't think he's going to be long term there.
Okay.
But I think for the time being, he can use him into a manner in where it's going to be effective to the team, and then Chelsea can recoup some, if not all, of that money. That'll be hard. But listen, please spare me the wise Pulisic not playing.
All right, enough picking on me.
Too early in the... We're not picking on you.
Can we pick on
You
Frank?
picked on yourself.
You did. You just said, I'm going to set you two up, hit me with the biggest custard pie you can find.
That's
what do you think this is? Football Americas?
No.
You don't get away with that on here.
It is definitely not that. Let's take a look at Frank's picks. I think Stevie... Wow, look at that picture.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Frank,
Thank you very much for my picture.
You've
Thank
got
you, guys.
Manchester City winning.
Oh my God.
Chelsea
You're 17
second.
years old there. My goodness.
You got Manchester United ahead of Liverpool.
with 30.
Interestingly enough.
Yes, because, of Varane, and I think they're going to be better at the back, and hopefully with Sancho they can do something. I'm winning. I don't know how Van Dijk is going to come back and how it's going to work for Liverpool. So, yeah, I had doubts. That's why I put them fourth. And I put Leicester fifth, but they just lost Fofana, and I have to say that I'm horrified by the tackle of Nuno on the friendly game, but well, that's the only thing I want to say. So Leicester maybe fifth and Tottenham sixth, but for the fifth and the sixth, I have to say that I didn't really know who to put. But yeah, I believe that, and I put Mohamed Salah just to please Stevie.
That was Frank auditioning for the Stuart Robson lookalike. Back
Frank,
in the day.
Given how much you hate individual awards, I'm surprised you managed to pick out a Player of the Year candidate.
Yeah, but you know why I put N'Golo Kante? Because he works for the team. It's why I put the best player, and I always put somebody who serves the team. So therefore, he might get something individual. Because that's fashion.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I've just sent my predictions for tomorrow to the producer. I'm going to change them because my Player of the Year for next year now is going to be Timo Werner. Even though, just to annoy you. So I'm just going to
duly noted. Well, as you just heard, coming up on tomorrow's show.
Oh, well, you want me to put Christian Pulisic?
Craig Burley's picks for top six in the
really
Premier
big,
League,
isn't it?
Top scorer and player.
As
of
Ian
the year.
Dark said,
go USA. That's what Ian Dark said.
He said, I don't know why the transfer window's not finished yet.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.